Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar about the Super Client View. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to run through today. The software that we use at Vincent's for our self-managed super funds actually gives us the functionality to invite our clients to look at what we're doing while we're doing it. So we have invited a lot of our clients in the past and also our advisors to look at this, and the take-up has been a little bit mixed, and I was the fortunate one to come up and say, well, maybe we should just show people what it is and how it works. And of course then Brett said to me, okay, Carol, that sounds like a really good job for you. So before we get started, just to introduce myself a little bit more, I started with Vincent's in February this year, but I've been working in the self-managed superannuation space for a bit over 20 years. So been around for a long time. So my expertise lies around being able to interpret the legislation and really help hold my clients' hands through the compliance process, as much as just giving you the end of year accounts, but to be able to problem solve what we can and can't do in our super fund. So my details will be available. If you have any detailed questions about any of the content, then certainly don't hesitate to get in touch with me. And hopefully by the end of this, we will have generated a little bit of excitement and curiosity about the platform that we have. So let's moving right on. All my contact details are there. Feel free to contact me. So Client View, what is it? Well, Client View really allows you as the trustee or as the advisor to access your client's superannuation data up to date. So what we really need to do to have this efficient is plug in some data feeds. So get some data directly from your advisor and plug it into our software, and then you can access it. So even if I haven't done any of the actual processing of your transactions, if we've got a feed from a Morgan's broker, for example, then we can keep track of the buys and sells and the dividends that are coming and going. And you can even send us some details going, well, Carol, how much pension availability do I have this year? What does that look like? So they're the sorts of real-time questions that we want to be able to answer. The other thing that's on its way, which is kind of the buzz topic in our industry at the moment, is the ATO wants us to be able to do real-time reporting about transactions in our self-managed super funds, which is a bit of a quantum leap. So at the moment, we only report on your pensions and contributions when we lodge the tax return, but they're actually looking at some kind of reporting platform. We're going to have to tell them within the end of each quarter whether you've taken any pension payments, whether you've started a pension, whether you've made a contribution. So this platform really allows us to be on the front foot with planning around that kind of event-based reporting. And it's really important. We're trying now to preempt that, really important to stay on the front foot with these things, so when it does hit, we're not chasing our tails going, oh, what now? We're keeping you fully informed and preparing for it all the way along. So the wonderful thing about Client View with Class is that it's available through your PC. You can get it on your mobile, tablet, or even on your phone. There's a great little app. So all of the data is presented in a consistent manner across all of those platforms, and you can basically got your super fund in your pocket wherever you go. That may or may not sound exciting to you, but let's check it out. So if you bear with me, I will just move across to my other screen and show you what it actually looks like. Sorry, just bear with me while I get this set up. Great. Okay, so if we invite you to class, this is the email that you'll get saying please come along and access your account details online. So you'll get an email that looks like this. Be warned, these no reply email addresses do have a tendency to go into junk box. So keep an eye out for this. Once you open the email, it's really just selecting a password, clicking on the I accept, and then you're good to go. So that basically takes you straight into the home screen in Client View. And you can see it's packed full of information from minute one that you get into it. So initially you've got a graph of what your portfolio is worth and what the current value of your fund is. Now, depending on the data feeds I've got, that's going to be how, that's going to influence the accuracy of this current value. But suffice to say, if I've got a Macquarie Bank account with a good data feed and a broker that's willing to work with us and send us the buys and sells and the current portfolio value, then that's pretty accurate reflection, even if I haven't done the actual tax return for the current period that we're talking about. So immediately you've got some hotspot windows. How much do I need to withdraw? So this has calculated your minimum pension for the current financial year, and it's telling you how much you need to withdraw out of your fund. It's also telling you what your contribution caps are going to be for the year, and you can contribute up to $25,100 in the non-concessional. So you can see immediately, I don't have to get too far into this, and I can jog my memory about what my pension payments is. And to be honest, they're probably our top hot button questions that we get from our clients. How much can I take out of my fund and how much can I put in? So the more real-time processing we can do, the more we can keep things up to date. You can also see there's lots of investment information on your platform page. What are your top performing investments? What are your bottom performing investments? How are my investments spread across my fund? And what's happening with my latest bank movements? What are the transactions that have happened generally in the last month on this screen? If you've got a really high volume fund, maybe the last week. But certainly a quick précis of everything that's going on in your fund. The next screen is the value, which is probably a bit more detailed information about, oops, I've logged out. Sorry, bear with me, I'll just log back in. So just, sorry while that's loading. When you do log back in, just a note for the advisors and the accountants out there, if you've got a number of clients that we look after for you, then you'll get a full client list. If you're logging in as a trustee or a member, the only thing that you'll see is your particular fund. So just a handy point to note for all the advisors out there, you'll see the full list of all your client base. Simply just a matter of clicking back into the fund that you want to have a look at, landing on the home screen, and then we're going to take a look at this valuation page. So I can set the date range here of the performance that I want to look at. So you can see it defaults to the current financial year that we're in. A report for the last financial year, and not much has happened. So it gives you, even though we haven't done the processing, as I've said, provided that we know about your buy and sell and we've got an accurate holding, then you can get an idea of whether you're up or down compared to the cost. So a lot of detail there in relation to your investments, and you can certainly keep tabs on your advisors by looking at these reports. So I think the thing to remember too about this platform is that it really is designed to be a communication tool. So if there was something there you were concerned about, then you'd probably be on the phone to the advisor going, okay, well, what's going on with this? Likewise, for your advisors, it's actually really good for advisor access because it gives you a full breakdown of everything that's going on in the fund. So, and this is one thing I'll show you now on the bank screen. It doesn't matter whether I've got a Macquarie account or a DDH Graham account, a Westpac account. I can look at this platform is for the whole of my fund. So I don't need to be logging into my Macquarie bank statement account, my Macquarie banking platform and my Westpac platform and maybe my CommSec or my Morgan's platform. I can see everything that's going on with my fund in one place, and that's actually really, really useful. One login, one place to see where it's all going on. And sometimes too, from an advisor or an accounting point of view, maybe you've got some unlisted investments, some rental properties going on. You can actually see, whether your rent's coming into your bank statement on a regular basis, what's happening with that. You can see it all from this platform, provided that we've got the data feeds up and working. So this bank screen, it's presented simply like a bank statement would be. Money that's gone out and come in and what my current balance is. It also gives me a little bit more detail, which helps you to keep tabs on us. So where we've got a cash match, that means that we've accounted for, what's going on with that transaction in the background. Where it's unmatched here, that means that I don't know what that is. So I've got a description there. It's come from Super Choice. I'm not quite sure who that contribution is for. Maybe it's for Ted, maybe it's for Thelma. But that's where you can go, oh, well, I know that's definitely for Thelma. I can let Carol know that she can account for everything relating to Super Choice. And you can message me about that, and I'll go through that at the end because that's a really, really useful tool. If I just want to look at what's unmatched and go, okay, these are all the things that Carol needs help with before she can finalise the accounts, then I can simply look at the unmatched screen and go, okay, they're all the things that I need to email Carol about so that she can pull this into shape. It's really, really useful in a number of formats, even just to be able to access all of your bank accounts in one spot. The next screen is the contribution screen. So for each member, if you had 4 members, they'd all appear here. And we can see here that this basically gives us what our concessional and non-concessional caps are going to be for the year. And then if we had accounted for contributions that were made, they would be showing up here. We can also keep track now, which is part of what we need to do under the new super regime, is keep track of what you're contributing to other funds and what your balances are in other funds. We can keep track of that in here, and you can see it all in one place again. So there are Thelma's details, there are Edward's details. I love this platform too because my clients that use it will ring me up and go, Carol, you've got my date of birth wrong. Or I've got something wrong with my details. And I really love that if I have input something wrong from the get-go, you're able to access this and tell me straight away. So I'm actually really happy to receive that rather than printing out all of your year-end things, sending them away and have you go, oh, Carol, you spelled my name wrong. All of those little things. We are fallible. We do make small errors like that, but if you see it online, get us to fix it up straight away. So once again, lots of details. It's fairly intuitive here, what's going on. It will tell you, that's what I was talking about, your superannuation balances, if you've given us that information and we can put it in there. So it's as much as you give us, that will depend on how useful and how up-to-date this really is. I'm alerted here that I've got unmatched cash deposits of 35 grand, and I can actually look in there and see what that's made up of. And straight away I can see it. Look, there's a whole bunch of dividends that I need to take care of, but I can also drill down into my account where I know my contributions are going in, and which I've lost. Sorry, I've lost all of those other ones. back in my unmatched screen, looking at my unmatched only and trying to find anything that's come in that looks like it's a contribution, and nail those down and let me know, and that will then update your contribution screen over here. So you can flick between areas and years. I can go all the way back to the first year that I processed for you. You can see what you contributed all the way back then. There's a history built in as well. It's actually a really, really good platform, particularly if you're trying to keep track of your bring forward contribution caps. So if we had accessed those, we would have put them in the relevant year, and you'll have all that data sitting there, so you'll know exactly how much of your cap you've got left available. Really handy tool to have. The next screen, if you've got any pension phase accounts, this will show you what your minimum is, what your drawdowns to date have been, and how we've calculated your minimum for that financial year. So nice platform to be able to really, really click in and go, okay, how much have I taken out? How much do I have left of my cap? Particularly handy coming to the end of the financial year and going, have I actually met my minimum? And also really great for the under 60s that are withdrawing and need to keep track of what's going to end up on their income tax return. This will actually show you your gross drawdowns and your pay-as-you-go withholding tax. So once again, one of those most frequently asked questions that we have, how much have I got left in my pension fund, or how much can I take? And it's all there at the click of a button. Performance reports, probably a little bit more detailed than your valuation amounts up here. Your valuation of your investments really shows you what it's worth today. Your performance platform really tries to measure what's been going on with your portfolio. So if we have a look at the last financial year, and it takes a little while to load, but then we're going to break it down by market type. So we'll see, what our bank accounts have been earning, and that you can see that's pretty flat. They're not doing very well for us. Our shares are really moving all over the shop for us. And we can actually compare that to the All Ords, for instance, and go, well, how are we tracking? How's our fund doing against particular performance platforms? So there's a lot. You can see there that we're actually tracking. We're following. We're not as high, but we're actually tracking pretty well. So really useful information, particularly from the advisor standpoint, to be able to look at the whole of their platform and pull that sort of data and really to start the conversation with the client. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we trying to achieve? Do we need to adjust our portfolios? Or maybe you just want to explain, okay, well, we've got a slightly conservative risk profile here, so we're not going for the big gains. We're just trying to smooth out the fluctuations and ride this. We're in pension phase. So the whole idea around this, and I know that with my clients that use it and use it well, it's a communication piece for us. It allows us to be having the communication on a regular basis rather than me touching their fund once a year and then I'll talk to you again in August next year. I'd rather be keeping up to date with my clients, understanding what's going on with them, and being able to show them this is where we're at, this is how we're tracking. Your report screen, these are the reports that we actually generate in the background. So whenever I've generated one of these reports at the end of the financial year, they become available to you. So if I want to look at my balance sheet or operating statement, I don't have to find that great big thick wad of paper that I sent out to you. I can just log in here and hey presto, there it is. And even for whichever year you prepare it for, it simply pops up a PDF and you can then access your accounts. And that will be exactly what was in your set of financial statements that we sent out to you at 30 June 2016. So you can see it there at a glance. it makes life really easy to be able to access some of those things. If there's one, for instance, that's not available, so if I haven't done the 30 June 17, that's when you can once again message me and say, Carol, what do we have to do to get the 30 June reports up and running? How do we make that happen? So once again, it's a good communication piece. It will prompt you to get in touch with me and go, why isn't that done? The details, this is really the one where you tell me that I've got it wrong. Generally, this is a really good screen for you to be able to check, particularly if you're a new client or you're new to client view. This will keep us honest, definitely. So this will give you the basic details of the fund, the ABN, whether or not we know what the tax file number is, who the members are, who the trustees are, when was the last deed, and all of your details regarding your death benefit nominations and insurance records if we have insurance details for you. So all of that ancillary detail, which you would have access to. I guess this platform too is trying to emulate some of the industry and retail funds have, online reporting platforms, so you can access this sort of detail. So Class is very much of the belief that you shouldn't be disadvantaged because you've got a self-managed super fund. You should be able to access all of the data that you could if you were an Australian super member or a Sun super member. So all of that detail is sitting there in the background. And if something is wrong or you want to tell me something, then definitely use the message box. Really easy to use. Just select your new message, 2017 financials. Carol, what do we have to do to get the 30 June 2017 financials complete? And then you can attach a document. So maybe you don't want to ask me that. Maybe you want to send me a copy of an invoice that I've asked for, or a new share purchase of an unlisted share or a public offering that I mightn't be able to find anywhere else. I might need you to send that to me. It's really just a matter of clicking on the attach button, finding what it is that you want to send to me, and attaching it, and then hit the send button, and that will actually come through as a message for me and I can pick that up. The app, which I can't really demonstrate to you online, the app is wonderful because it allows you to actually take a photo of whatever the documentation might be, simply attach that to the transaction and upload it to me, and hey presto, I've got all the information that I need to be able to move on a job, and you haven't had to worry about posting it to me. It's all been fairly seamless. So really, really great to hear from you that way. It helps. Obviously, it helps with our putting together of the work for an audit purpose, but hopefully it's designed to make your life a little bit simpler too. So, look, I really hope that you can see some of the benefits that are demonstrated there. You can actually, we just quickly go back into the bank screen. One thing that I didn't point out that I do is the notion of feeds. So where I've got a bank feed active, and Macquarie are just fantastic, it will actually show me the transactions, yesterday's transactions. So bear with me. Let's just select the current financial year. And you can see there it's giving me all the data right up until today's date. So it's showing me everything overnight. It's refreshing. And that really allows me to keep track of this stuff day to day, and we will get to a point, that's where we want to head with the processing of our work, we're going to move towards trying to stay on top of this on a monthly basis. That's one of our lofty, ambitious goals. But it really helps. It helps you too to be able to access the data. But you can see if we don't have a feed set up, then we can't guarantee that we've got the latest information. And I know definitely this fund we haven't got the Westpac Super Saver set up. So all of these transactions I've actually had to put in manually. So the more of that you can approve for us, the better. When you authorise us to look at the bank statement data, it's effectively allowing us to receive an electronic copy of your bank statement. It doesn't allow us to make any transactions or do anything untoward. It's a very secure platform. Class has been built with military grade software protections. Obviously the data that's in there is extremely sensitive. So the highest precautions are taken to ensure that this data is secure. Anything that you attach and send to us through that messaging system is way more secure than attaching it to a general email. But the veracity of the data is going to depend on what you authorise us to look at. So by all means, when we are encouraging people, when we do send out those authority forms, then please feel comfortable. Obviously ask questions if you're not comfortable giving us that access, but we can assure you that it goes through the most rigorous security processes, and as does any accounting system that stores critical information such as tax file numbers and personal addresses and details. So can I encourage you to sign those forms, sign up to Client View, and let's just work together to get on top of the current transactions of your super fund, so that you can actually make informed decisions too. So you know what your balances are on any particular day. You can make decisions about whether or not you can purchase that property with a limited recourse borrowing because you know exactly what's sitting in the fund and where things are at. You know from looking at your valuation screen that, oh yeah, I've got some capital gains sitting in here that I might need to worry about if I've got to liquidate everything to go and buy something else. So use this to, I really encourage my clients who are a little bit scared of super and feel a little bit out of their depth to really use this as an education platform. Go in, have a look at what's going on in there, ask questions, be more informed about what's going on. As I said, that a lot of the industry funds and retail funds are really getting on board with this so that their members can actually log in and find out this critical information. And this platform is really, really designed to allow trustees to really take charge of their fund as well and be on top of all of the details that they're looking at. So, look, I'm obviously a fan. I hope that's come across today. I'm a really big fan of this software platform. Gone are the days when, it could sometimes take us 18 months after the transaction has happened to be able to give you any meaningful data about it. So definitely take advantage of this, and particularly if you're an advisor. I know I have quite a few funds referred to me by other accountants that go, look, we're really good at doing the business advisory work. You look after the super fund stuff for me. This is a really great tool for them to be able to see what's going on in all of their clients, to be able to confirm things like contributions, how have we treated that contribution, is it a member concessional contribution or is it an employer sponsored, how have we taken that up. So this is a really, really good platform to be able to begin that communication piece. So I really, I hope I've sold the value. I've sold the value to that. I might go back to the PowerPoint and just check in with you if anyone's got any questions. just pulled. Sorry, technical difficulties here. I'm very good at super, but so just to take you through the takeaways at the end of this session, just to give you an update, some of the features that we've covered. The up-to-date information viewing platform is second to none when we get it all working smoothly. It's really, really a powerful tool to monitor the investment incomes and performance of your fund, to look at valuations, keep on top of your asset allocation so it's in accordance with your strategies. Really, really great for flagging to you the queries that we might have. These are the transactions that we need to know more about. Stay on top of those in a real-time manner. I know sometimes if I ask you at 12 months after it's happened, if you're anything like me, you can't remember what happened last month. So it's a really great way to stay on top of those as and when they happen. Gives you the ability to download reports, gives you the ability to chase me if the reports aren't there. One of probably the key things, tracking of your pension payments and whether or not you've met your minimum and maximum requirements, and also tracking of your contribution caps. Are we going over that? Are we in danger of going over that? And particularly if you're using another fund as well as your self-managed super funds. And also just lets you keep track of what details we have for you. If you've moved house, for example, and we've got the wrong address, then certainly use this as a communication piece to let us know what's going on. So overall, the benefits, it's a really secure platform. It's much more secure sending us documentation by way of this than it would be via an email. It's available on a number of platforms. You can log in through your PC or your app on a tablet or a mobile phone. And the thing that I love about it for everybody, whether it's the trustee, the advisor or the accountant, you can see all of the fund in one place. So particularly helpful if, like the example we've got where I've got multiple financial services providers, it doesn't matter that I'm with Westpac, Macquarie, Morgans and DDH Graham, I can see them all in one place with one login. Pretty super savvy. So review those unknown transactions, let us know what's going on, make informed and relevant decisions based on what your fund's doing today, not what it was doing back at 30 June, and in this case, not what it was doing back at 30 June 16. So it really is quite powerful. And really use it as a communication piece. So advisors, use it as a review the fund details, use it as a communication piece with your clients. I certainly love my clients logging in because it starts the conversation for us. What's going on? What can we or can't we do? And hopefully it makes the year-end process a whole lot more peaceful because we're staying on top of it throughout the year. And yeah, as I've already mentioned, just make your informed decisions. That's really important in this super environment, that you can be aware of what the tax implications of your decisions are today rather than, worrying about it after the event. So look, I'm going to hand over. If there's any questions at all, then please jump in and send me a question. Otherwise, I'm really happy for you to contact me after this is over. If you'd like access to Client View, if you're one of our clients and you'd really like to access it, then please get in touch with us. And also to any advisors and accountants out there, if we're looking after any of your clients on this platform, then please don't hesitate. Also, for the advisors out there that aren't using Class, certainly really happy to do some workshopping with you about implementing the platform and how you can use it in your own practice. So a broad brushstroke of things there across lots of different client base, but we've certainly, I've been using Class since 2009. I'm a big fan, so I'm really happy to help anyone who might be scratching their head about should we go down this path or not. So I hope that's been helpful to you. I really look forward to hearing from you. Please get in touch with me so I know I haven't been talking to an empty room. That would be really wonderful. So that's it from me. Thank you. Hope to talk to you again. Look forward to hearing all of those questions that you've got for me. Thanks and bye for now.